We got the best film music in radio, folks. No doubt about that. Best film music in radio.
You know what I'm doing for you today? Have you noticed?
What?
No trivia with any of the songs playing.
Yet.
No.
Oh, yeah?
Most of the day off from that today.
Most of the day. Uh-oh. Most of the day.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
My bad. You're all going to be late today. I get it. I get it. A damn fine song.
You know, that's the thing. And I know you don't have many because you didn't sit and listen through every song on every album like I did. But there's songs that don't make the radio. They're not hits. But they're great songs, and for whatever reason you love them. That's a great song.
Well, I got to tell you, your picks this morning a hell of a lot better than on 10-4 day last Friday.
Yeah, but we got so much positive response.
Oh, my gosh.
Good buddy.
Oh, no. Roger that.
I was just thinking about that and the story about Paul relocating that coon the other morning. And I think back to when Paul and I first started working together, and the consultant would fly into town, and everything was so tightly formatted and strict, and you couldn't play any song that wasn't already scheduled, and there's certain things you couldn't talk about. And I remember Paul arguing with our consultant about when they reintroduced the wolves into Yellowstone National Park. And he said, Paul, it's a non-issue, so don't even bother with it.
And what did I tell him, Mark?
We're going to talk about it.
I said, you're full of crap.
Yeah.
I said, that issue is going to remain for years and years here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, we're still here working.
That's right.
He's not.
He's not a consultant anymore.
Nope, he's not. Good guy, though.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Had just had been divorced and had just met a gal, and I still remember the line. He was telling us about her. He said, you sound pretty smitten. He says, this is not just the prettiest woman I've ever seen. This is the prettiest woman I've ever had lunch with. I said, well, you must really like her. Oh, well, folks, last weekend, if you want to go up over Beartooth Pass, because they are going to shut her down Tuesday and not move any more snow till the end of May next year.
Wow.
But that's what happens every year. And it's already got some snow this year, and they plowed it again. I don't know what the traffic numbers are, but that sees a lot of vehicles.
Yeah. Well, and park visitations go down this time of year, and so Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to go through this weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Article in the paper this morning talking about how Tim Sheehy is ahead of Tester in the polls, which has got to kill him to do, and that means he's got to be quite a ways ahead before they print the story. And John Tester should be doing so much better because every poll I've gotten, I'm telling them I'm voting for him.
Yeah. That's right. We want them to ease up.
That's right. God, enough with the ads. We get it. We get it. And like Paul says, all these ads at this point are not helping him.
Yeah, they're not. Well, and the stuff about how he hates everyone that's not foreign in Montana, it's not helping him.
No.
I do the same thing on my wheat surveys. All these other guys are stupid. How was your wheat crop? It was awful. Second worst crop I ever had. I always tell them that. I'm trying to drive the price up.
Right.
These other guys are so ego-driven. Oh, 75.2 bushel an acre this year. I ran out of granary space. Well, then USDA puts their grain numbers together, and they see how much is on hand, and so it affects the price of wheat. Mm-hmm. You got to know how to play the game, man. People lie to their doctor all the time. So tell me your average day. Mark goes in, well, I get up at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I get on my Peloton. I do about 7 miles. Then I drink my Java juice with chopped bananas and strawberries in it. I do that. Your blood test says Nestle Crunch and Pepsi. No, that's not my blood test. Then I park as far away as I can. I never look for a spot close to the door. That way I could get a walk-in early in the morning. You should have seen him this morning, folks.
God.
Trying to park his pickup. It was so damn funny. People do the same thing with their doctor all the time. All guilty of it. But, folks, John Tester. And he's got Q2 and Color 8 in the paper in his pocket and all these media outlets. He goes and visits a couple pot smokers here in Billings. He won't come up here, the largest audience in the Northwest, and he won't come up here and to answer the tough questions. He doesn't have to do any fundraising. None. He's the biggest recipient of lobbyist cash in America. Biggest one. He was last election. Sheehy's out doing fundraisers all over. Sheehy's running ads. Help me win, contribute, Sheehy, blah, blah.
Join my team.
Join my team. Tester doesn't have any of those running. He's got hundreds of millions being pumped into his campaign. There was a picture the other day, I'm surprised Paper even put it in there, as she had a fundraiser at the barn in Bozeman, trying to raise money for his campaign. Jon Tester. You know what? Let me ask you this, folks. Jon Tester, so concerned. Did Jon Tester go out? Did he go out and talk to everybody up at the Stillwater mine when they announced they were closing it and laying off, 700 people or something?
700 people, which is, there's a story on it. That's 13% of payroll workers in 2 counties. That's how big that is up there.
Where's Jon Tester? Where's Jon Tester? He should have been there because, we've seen all the other ads. The one about the welders and Anaconda. Why Jon Tester kept our business open. Yeah. Has Jon Tester yet showed up at the Stillwater mine?
I would love to know that. I'm guessing not.
Nobody will ask him that question.
No.
I will. Why haven't you shown up at the mine to comfort those workers? What are you doing to reestablish mining in our neck of the woods, which is so important to our economy here in Montana? You're so concerned. He hasn't shown up. Why? Everything he votes for is anti-mining.
Yes,
that Green New Deal, folks. Let me ask you this. Did Jon Tester show up at the big lumber mill that just cut their last logs?
Oh, in Sealy.
Yeah. Did he show up there?
No.
He didn't show up there either, did he?
No.
Hell no. Why not?
And that was 100 lost jobs.
Yeah. Why not? Why isn't he showing up at these places? Because the way he votes is falling in line with the liberal agenda to eliminate all these industries. That's why when I saw him in that one ad walking with that Leo McDonald out there at the Midland Bull Test, I was so damn mad at both of them because Jon Tester and the Democrats are trying to put on taxes on people with cattle. They believe they're polluting the world. How come he doesn't show up at these places, folks? Well, he can't. He's got to act like a Republican right now in order to win the election. And I think people have finally caught on. They're not buying his bull crap. Although they're trying. KTVQ, they do all these hit pieces on Sheehy.
God.
Shame on them. I wish they'd go dark in Billings. The rest of them, too. All these hit pieces, they're all acting like they're news organizations from New York City and Washington, D.C., but they're not reflecting the real people of Montana. But where's Tester been? Where's he been? He doesn't show up at all these places that are closing, losing their jobs because of these other policies.
I go back to when Bill Chiazza was running things down at Metra, and he'd come in during the fair, and he'd answer every question from people calling, and even if it was stuff they didn't like, they wanted to complain about, he'd take the question and he'd answer it.
Has Jon Tester, and I don't know this, has Jon Tester been down the coal strip, the war on coal at Coal Strip? He's been supporting the war on coal with Obama and others. Has he been to Coal Strip? Not going to show up at these places. He knows how he votes. See? But he's not going to come in here. He's going to go on with people who are naive, who don't know anything, that will cater to him and just, what are you up to this day, John? And what are you going to do? And what's your feeling about just softball after softball like Kamala Harris? Folks, if that woman, I think our ballots go out today, actually, now that I think about it. If that woman is elected president, it will be the most unqualified, dumbest person we've ever had in the White House. No clue. They are covering for her. Big story yesterday how CBS edited her interview to protect her. Did you see that?
Yeah.
CBS, KTVQ's affiliate, they're doing everything they can. She is the most non-qualified person ever. And remember, she didn't get one vote.
Right.
They just picked her.
Okay, just got this in, Paul. I assume this is in Columbus. USW Local 11-0001. Senator Tester will be at the hall Sunday, October 13th. He'll be meeting with local union leadership at 11 and will be meeting with all members who want to attend at 11:45. I love this. I am aware many of us have strong political opinions. However, this meeting is not the place for those.
Oh, it's not. You see what they're doing?
Well, you can't talk to one of the people that represents you about their politics.
Who's running for office.
Right. God.
They're protecting them.
I hope all who attend conduct themselves in a professional manner as we try to secure as much federal support for our members as possible. Mm-hmm. Well, when can I talk politics with Senator Tester of Montana?
Right.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
When can we ask him about all the policies that he has supported that is taking your jobs away from you?
Exactly.
When can we do that? Can you imagine what Florida would be like if Ron DeSantis wasn't in charge and Kamala Harris was?
Oh.
You know, as of yesterday afternoon, Florida already had returned power to 880,000 people by late yesterday afternoon. They had 55,000 trucks down there ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I was watching this story, and it struck me funny because for people like you and me, it would be inconvenient. For people like my 17-year-old daughter, she'd have to move because they did a story about how there's no internet right now.
Oh, yeah. She'd be going through withdrawal.
She would.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Yeah, can they get the power on first?
Yeah.
And then worry about it later? And that's a different company anyway. Mm-hmm. Those are different companies anyway. That woman is the most non-qualified person that the Democrats could have possibly picked to be their candidate, but they had to. They were stuck. Joe Biden looks like a genius compared to her, and he doesn't like her. There's animosity there because they threw him out and put her in.
Right, and let's not forget, she's one of the people that covered for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
God, it doesn't get talked about, of course, in the national media.
Mm-hmm. So did John Tester.
Yeah.
Tester said, I've talked to, he's sharp as a tack.
I don't see him every day, but every time I've seen him.
Yeah. Lied to you folks. And then his party threw him out and picked another one. He's not going to answer those kind of questions. It's not going to do it. But the push is on. The covering for the Democrats and their liberal policies, it's still on. It's still going full strength. They will lie. CBS edited and doctored their interview to protect her. They got caught again. They are scum for what they've been doing it for years. Here's another headline today that is put in the paper to mislead all Americans. To mislead all Americans. Mislead you. They know what they're doing. Headline today in your Billings Gazette: inflation at its lowest pace since 2021. Now, you have to read the article to understand what's going on. But that headline will say, wow, we're on the right direction. Inflation dropped last month to its lowest point since it began surging. Now, inflation didn't drop. Inflation still went up.
Right.
Okay? The increase was less than the increase the month before. Consumer prices rose 2.4% in September from where they were a year ago. But in August, they were up 2.5%, excluding food and energy costs.
which are my two main ones.
Exactly. Okay. So here we go. Now, remember the headline: inflation at its lowest pace since 21. However, this is in the article. Core prices, which is a gauge of inflation, remained elevated in September. Elevated. Cost for medical care, clothing, that's big because school starts in September. Mm-hmm. Auto insurance, airline fares, they were up 3.3% from a year ago and 0.3% higher than the month of August. But once again, look at the Gazette's headline: inflation at its lowest pace since 2021. So let's go on. Items that were higher priced last month and even the month before. Cars. In fact, used cars could rise rise again in the coming months. Other items that rose in price in September, clothing, airfares, things like that. But once again, look at the headline. Inflation at its lowest since 2021. See the headline? Meant to mislead you, the uninformed reader. Apartment prices were up again in September. Yeah, but they weren't up as much as they were in August. It doesn't matter. I keep using the weight analogy. They were up. Gas prices, probably the only thing that affected that inflation price because oil went down. So gas prices fell 4% from where they were in August. However, now with the Middle East thing, they're on their way back up. Grocery prices up 0.4% last month. Food prices are up almost 25% since Kamala Harris and Joe Biden took office. It's in this article. But what did the headline say? What did the headline say? See what they do? Donald Trump cited the cost of bacon, which was up 30%. It got to $7.60 a pound in October of 22. Well, yeah, but it's down to $6.95 now. $6.95 a pound, and they're celebrating that. Restaurant food prices, folks, last month, they jumped 0.3 of a point. They're up almost 4% from last year. Clothing prices rose 1.1% from August to September. They're up almost 2% from where we were a year ago. That, folks, combined to all the increases up until that point, too, see? And then they say this, the improving inflation picture follows a healthy jobs report. I went over the jobs report earlier in the week for you, didn't I, Mark?
You did.
It was awful. You see what they do you folks? And then the AP writer puts this, cooling inflation, solid hiring, and healthy growth could erode Trump's advantage on the presidential campaign. You see what they're trying to do?
Good God.
And look at what we've just read you. It's like the Kamala Harris edit on CBS. She shows you and tells you everything that she's about, shows she's a nitwit, and then they edit it and cover for her to once again indoctrinate you. That's what this article does. We've given you all these things that are just awful news, and you get to the headline, and then they throw in their opinion about this could give her an advantage in the election. Who do you think, folks, could best handle the economy? Ding-a-ling or somebody that we have 4 years of proof from? We all know what it was like when he was president. Jobs report. I gave you the jobs. None in manufacturing. None. The job reports were they were fast food, retail, and government. That was it. All the good, well-paying jobs in America, no increase. None. Government, big one. So there you go. You have to read. You have to read through it and then look at what their headline says. It's awful. Same with the new poll numbers. They give you the new poll numbers, show Sheehy out in front, and don't believe it, folks. Vote early. Get that in there. Get a huge lead for him. Because in Missoula, they may shut down the polling place at midnight and then recount the next day. But then they say, well, John Tester's no stranger to tough races. He always comes through. Blah, 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 blah. This and that. And the New York Times did the poll on Montana voters. The New York Times did it. How many of us look at our phone ID and never answer when we know it's a polling company or a number we don't recognize? Most of us. Young kids will answer it.
Yeah.
Young kids will answer everything. We don't. Mary Sheehy Schmo is in the paper again today telling you all the good things about CI-126. Yeah, if you live in Beijing, you ding-a-ling. God, they put her in there every week,
Every
too.
Friday.
Every one of these initiatives, folks, you should vote no on. You can do what you want. I'm just telling you, vote no on all of them. If Mary Sheehy Schmo likes them, it's commie. That's all there is to it. They want to dilute the vote, folks. That's their whole purpose. They want two popular Republicans vying for all of the conservative vote to dilute it enough to where the one Democrat that might make it would win. That's the only reason. They're running all kind of levies up in Bozeman. They're running levies, an education levy. They're running a levy up there for more policemen. All kinds of stuff up there in Bozeman. You'll be voting on those.
They had a rather lengthy meeting last night about urban camping in Bozeman.
Urban camping?
You know, where you just pull your camper over to the side of the road.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, they were going to try to figure out what to do there.
Well, first of all, this is why people don't run for city council. The meeting was 5 hours.
5 hours.
And they voted to put an expiration date on the city's tolerance of people living in vehicles, campers, trailers, and tents on the city streets. New ordinance number 2172 sets an expiration date on urban camping in the city and then gives the city manager full authority to move campers to wherever he sees fit and creates a permit system that includes a $25 a month fee. The ordinance also includes stricter rules on generator noise, adherence to proper vehicle maintenance, disallowing camping near cemeteries, wetlands, waterways, and fines for those who try to rent or facilitate urban campsites. New rules will be backed by misdemeanor criminal fines ranging from $100 to $500 and up to 10 days in jail if you don't put your camper in the right spot at the right time. But their city manager said the way they're doing it right now, not working. And people can camp in Bozeman, and these new rules, they think, are going to lead to fewer homeless people in the city. Bad news, people in Livingston.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Guess where they're going? Belgrade? You got some folks headed your way, too.
And you guys that are pushing your shopping carts up and down the road that got him at that bought them at Shopping Carts or Us, because we all have a lot of shopping cart stores here in the area. None of those are stolen. You got to make sure you're secure your load. I saw a couple yesterday. They're stacking their load on these carts a little too high. And that's a ticket if I'm in a pickup and I do that.
Right.
You got to make sure that your load in your shopping cart is secure. So make sure that's strapped down. Could roll. Wow, it's a problem.
Bozeman urban camping situation since July has generated more than 23 tons of garbage, 15 pickup truck loads of junk, and 36 buckets of human feces.
36 buckets, huh?
36 buckets.
Wow. I wonder whose job it is to count that. That's a government job.
That's a government job, but I'd quit it.
I'm sick of this crap every day. Got to run around and count buckets of crap. Wow.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Oh, here we go. You know how you always talk about you have to be careful what degree you get from the University of Montana so you can actually work and make a living? For this story, they interviewed a guy who moved from Billings to Bozeman. He's living in a camper over there with 3 other people. His job, he's a political canvasser.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So he got some part-time work.
Right. And most of his $1,200 a month goes to child support and other bills. Whose fault is that, son?
That's right. There's plenty of work.
Yeah.
Didn't you read your party's jobs report?
Right. Homelessness in Bozeman tripled since 2019.
Yeah. But it's not because people who were living there lost their jobs.
No.
It's because there's all kind of jobs there. It's from people that are homeless that found a new place to live.
Right.
That's why. Housing's expensive up there. Yeah. Elections are important, folks. They just are. And I'm telling you, Kamala Harris is the most unqualified ding-a-ling I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe... Well, she got a law degree. Been in public service her whole life. She's never run a business or anything like that. A dirty laundry list of stuff like most candidates do. Critical of Ron DeSantis. That guy's a hero, what he's done down in Florida. All those people would... Hell, Disney World's opening up today already.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to open today already. They assessed the damage, got things cleaned up, had everything in place. DeSantis and others got the power all back. They're opening up again today. Trump Trump yesterday, does anybody know what Kamala Harris's economic plan is? No. And they let her skate. Nobody knows. She matched Trump's idea about not taxing tips. She liked that, so she stole it. Said, I'm going to do that too. Well, I'm from the middle class. Yippee skippy. And she's not really. That's it. She's not giving any deeds. She doesn't know. She supports all of Joe Biden's ideas, said she was involved in all of it. That's why we're at where we're at. Trump yesterday made another announcement, folks. He wants you to be able to deduct all of your interest. Car loans.
Oh, wow.
Credit card. All that kind of stuff. You used to be able to do that.
Right.
Many, many years ago. I think it was back in the 80s when you could do it. The interest you pay on your home was deductible. Right. Your credit card interest, your auto loan. That used to be many years ago deductible.
Mid-90s, you could still deduct it.
Yeah, it was deductible. And then they changed that because they went broke. Trump wants that all deductible. See, this is how Donald Trump is trying to help the struggling average American. He's trying to give you what I talk about all the time, an opportunity for you to keep more of your money that you are earning. It is a crime what liberals and even some conservatives do when they take your hard-earned money away from you because they feel they can do a better job with you. The U.S. government does not do a good job with anything they touch. Anything. I mean, anything that they have ever touched, they wrecked. Department of Energy, education. Look what they've done to that. Ruined it. And Donald Trump knows you're struggling. He tries to help the average person. That's why things were so good when he was president. More jobs, Hispanics, African Americans, women, highest numbers they ever had, wage growth, people's wealth. He's trying to give you these things that will allow you to keep more of your money. You deduct your interest on your credit card, your home, your auto loan, all those kind of things. It's going to save you on the amount of federal taxes that you pay. You will keep more of your money. These are his ideas. What does Kamala propose? Nothing. Dingbat. Airhead. Nothing. She liked his no tax on tips thing, so she jumped on board of that. But she doesn't believe people are paying their fair share. That's her plan. Fair share. What does that mean? That means when the current Trump tax rates come up for a vote in April of next year, they want to eliminate all those. And your taxes will go higher. And we went over all the numbers one time here on the show for you of what they will go back to. Huge increases. Not only that, what happened to her mention of raising the corporate taxes up to 28 to 35%? The press seems to have forgot that part of her economic plan, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, they did. Because you pay for that. You folks do. That woman didn't get one vote from any American. And they're trying Q2, Color 8, the Gazette, all of them. They're all in together. CBS News, all covering, editing, doing what they can to get her in. They know she needs all the help she can get. She's unqualified. There was another recall yesterday. I don't know how many recalls every week we get.
Well, there's multiple every week.
Yeah. Cars, different products, all these kind of things. It's amazing that the U.S. even survived in our early days because there was never a recall on anything anywhere in America. It didn't matter if it was food, automobiles. It didn't matter. There was never a recall on anything. But lawyers, government, regulation. Here's a company. They are recalling 10 million pounds of meat and poultry that were made at a plant in Oklahoma because they may have been contaminated with a listeria. Ready-to-eat products. Foods were made at this plant in Durant, Oklahoma between June 19th and October 8th and shipped to restaurants, food service vendors, and sites nationwide. 75 meat and chicken products. The foods included products like grilled chicken breast strips. No confirmed reports, though, of any illnesses linked to the recall. Not one report of an illness, not one related to that 10 million pounds. Not one case yet. And they're recalling all of it. Listeria causes fever, muscle aches, tiredness, stiff neck, loss of balance, convulsions. But That's another recall. Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma right now, they've got bigger things on their mind. They play Texas this weekend. And down in Oklahoma, that's their main concern. They're not concerned about listeria.
This is the biggest thing all year this weekend.
That's right. They're concerned about Texas. That's what they're concerned about right now. They play Texas. You know, our Navy SEALs, folks, if we only knew what these Navy SEALs do, and we don't. There's a code of conduct amongst the SEALs and among that operation where they don't tell you about their missions. They don't tell you what they do, where they've been, what their orders are. They are the most elite force that we have in the country. Tim Sheehy was one of them. And for me to see these veterans questioning his dedication, his sticking up for veterans, the things that man did, if people only knew. Military investigation concluded that the 2 U.S. Navy SEALs that they drowned last year. I don't know if you remember that story or not, but 2 of them drowned. They were trying to climb up along the side of a ship that was carrying illicit Iranian-made weapons to Yemen in turbulent waters. This is the kind of missions they get. This is Kamala Harris, Tehran John Tester, by the way, and Joe Biden. They continue to fund Iran billions of dollars, and they're creating weapons that are killing people all around the world. They put a hit list out on our presidential candidate. That's an act of war.
And should be newsworthy, but it's not getting any coverage, is it?
No. These 2 brave SEALs were trying to board this ship. They said that they drowned because of a training failure, about lack of understanding of what to do if you fall into a deep, turbulent water. Now, that's hard for me to believe because they train for everything. The men sank quickly off the coast of Somalia because of all the heavy equipment that they were carrying when they were going to get on board. Their investigation said they didn't know, or they disregarded the concerns of that their flotation devices would not compensate for all the additional weight, so they were lost at sea. I don't believe that for a minute. These men knew what they were doing. Navy SEALs, when they're given a mission, it's different than when you get a task at work.
Yeah.
They either accomplish it, or they die doing it. They know that going in. Navy SEALs are never captured. Navy SEALs, when they get a mission, they go in. You either complete it or you die doing it. They know that. These are the bravest of the brave. They were carrying these Iranian-made weapons to Yemen. And look, and these are the countries and places that are shooting all these missiles and stuff into Israel, trying to kill as many Jews as they can. Both sank quickly in the high seas, weighed down by the heavy equipment. They said there were deficiencies, gaps, and inconsistencies in their training, policies, tactics, and procedures. I don't believe that because all of the other Navy SEALs prior to that have had the same training, and they were all kept alive. The mission's goal, intercept weapons headed to the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen. Folks, who has their blood on their hands right now? How did Iran get the money to produce all of these weapons? And how did they do it? You want the truth or you want spin? They did it. They got all this money from the U.S., the Harris-Biden administration. You know, all that funding was stopped. Donald Trump had them strangled. Our oil industry was killing them. They had no money. And then Biden-Harris take over. And what do? They release the aid back to Iran, billions and billions of dollars. The price of oil, because of our policies, an attack on fossil fuels, surged in America, bringing them hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth. And so they start making military hardware and shipping it out to the Houthi rebels, the terrorists in Yemen. And so our Navy SEALs then have to go get on this ship. You know what they were going to do to that ship. You know why their backpacks were so heavy. This doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. They had a mission. Stop that shipment. Yes, sir. They were members of SEAL Team 3. Nighttime mission was in the Arabian Sea, but they have to cover their ass. They said the entire event only took 47 seconds when they were lost at sea. Their packs and things were so heavy. Here's the thing. I've got a couple questions for that commander that came up with this excuse. Their packs and gear weren't heavy enough to stop them from getting there.
Right.
They were climbing up the side of that ship when they fell. They were operating in 6 to 8 foot seas. The ship they were boarding was rolling in the waves. There were some other commandos there that were able to escape. They even have video of it because these guys all wear cameras and things like that. that. At one point, one of them tried to climb back onto the ladder that they threw on, but he was overcome by one of the 8 to 10 foot waves. Folks, these are the kind of things that we send Navy SEALs in to do. We don't know what they do. They're in body armor, radio equipment, all kinds of stuff. Fully loaded, locked and loaded, ready to go. Not to mention the munitions and other things I'm sure that they had. SEALs do buddy checks, talk to each other, keep an eye out for each other. The rest of the SEAL team began appropriate man overboard procedures. They're trained on that within seconds. 2 drones that they had overhead providing surveillance also were used. Where they were at, the water depth was 12,000 feet. These men had been on numerous missions before. Navy SEALs. And we have these people in Montana questioning Tim Sheehy's loyalty and dedication to the military and said he doesn't care about veterans. If you knew what he did, the guy's got a Bronze Star, he's got a Purple Heart, or any SEAL for that matter, and you're questioning their loyalty to their comrades, shame on you. I know who I want by my side if hell goes down. John Tester or Tim Sheehy. I know who I want. Ask him a few of those questions when he shows up at the mine where you're not allowed to ask any questions related to politics.
Can't talk politics with your senator from Montana.
While he's running for office. Here's 5 of them for you guys this morning. We gave one, too, for all you folks listening. We gave them one for you guys, too.
Here's a week's worth.
That's right. That's it. A week's worth. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, first news coming up, 6:16.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.